If you're just a hapless tenant who's at the end of the tether and really doesn't know who to talk to, it ain't going to happen. The property manager was very cross when I let slip that this was the third time it had been painted in 6 years. He was furious. He didn't think it was
necessary.
He didn't think it was a thing that they should be doing, and was very happy to leave the pre-start meeting. So things like that, it doesn't help. So investing in the wrong pubs,
yes,
throwing money at problems, it is about the tenant. It really is.
Right.
But if you're not getting the quality of tenant,
because
you're
the
stuck.
Recruitment process possibly isn't there, and
the deals aren't good enough.
And the deals aren't right.
You know, you look now through Punch's website or any of the operators that have the MAN-10, the halfway house management retail agreements.
Right. MAN-10 is that what they're called, is it?
Well, no, that's what I call it, because it's a cross between a tenancy and a management and a managed house, isn't it? So you turn over, it's open book. Whatever money the pub takes, you give to the pubco, and you know this, but you will then get a percentage back, which is yours to do as you see fit. Normally, pay your staff. I've never seen one on a percentage basis that is as much as our percentage of staff wages relative to turnover is.
Yes,
so
yes.
There's no money in them.
No.
And it is the very lowest common denominator of agreements. These agreements exist, I believe, because the pubcos now have to clean up the mess they've made with poor recruitment over the last decade or 15 years.
Right.
In the lease and tenancy world, they need these agreements so they can control the pubs.
Right.
And you look down these companies' websites and you look at like a half decent pub. Ooh, retail agreement.
Yeah.
And it's really not the best thing for the pub. I don't know of any that are thriving.
No.
And again, these deals change. Falcon doesn't exist anymore. We got involved very briefly with something that Punch were going to call front of house. We were asked to.
Didn't last very long, did it?
No, we were asked to consult on it, and then leadership changed, and it was just abandoned. But it could have been. It was a much more simplified version of it, and actually could have been good. But there are so many ideas that have been tried that really shouldn't have been, and actually recruit better tenants, make it so that entrepreneurs who actually know how to run a business can go into these businesses and run them.
But something you said to me earlier, which I'd like to kind of come back to, is the fact that quite often business development managers were frightened of really switched on tenants who knew their stuff.
Yeah.
So how does that fit into that scenario then? I mean, what do you want to amplify? I
have spoken to many colleagues after team meetings over a beer late at night, and because I was interested in this idea that people are scared of switched on tenants who are going to ask awkward questions, who are going to shout loudly, who are going to uncover perhaps shoddy slapdash working practices and show the area managers that they're not kind of on the ball as they should do. What they'd rather have is somebody a bit more malleable, maybe a bit more naive, who is easy to work with or manipulate.
Yes.
Not always, but just somebody who's just lower maintenance.
Yes.
That didn't translate. That was not policy. Go and target these hapless individuals. It's just how it ended up, because those are the people coming to interview. Those are the people applying for pubs. Switched on operators, and again, I told you a story about somebody who the approved rent was £23,500. The area manager told him it was 50. At some stage, he was going to have to shove the rental agreement under the rental valuation under his nose for him to sign. How's he going to have that conversation that it says here it's 23.5, but you've just chanced your arm on 50? The person involved is a switched on operator, so he got up and walked off, as you would. But a lot of other people think, I've negotiated down. He wanted 50 grand. I got it for 23. Might still be too high, but it's better than 50.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of people. I've done you a big favour. I've had a word with my boss. It's now 23.5.
Right.
Sign here. Or sign one of these 27 pieces of paper to prove that you have made a fair assessment of the opportunity being offered to you.